So today we're learning how to use a tuning fork to help our singing. This is called a C128 tuning fork. That's the frequency that it's vibrating at. So what this tests is, do my bones hear pitch correctly? There are two kinds of hearing that we have, air conduction and bone conduction. So air conduction is how everyone hears you when you're speaking. You know, when you hear yourself back on a recording and you think, wow, it doesn't even sound like me, that's because you're hearing it through bone conduction. You're hearing your voice through bone conduction. So the sense that really counts as a singer is bone conduction. You will sound different in every space that you're in because the acoustic of the space will be different, but your bone conduction should be the same all the time. And placement, if you hear the term placement in voice, that is bone conduction. Many of us have places that the bone conduction is not working properly and we're not aware of it. So a tuning fork helps us figure out how it's working. So this is how you do it. You hold the little prong thing on the bottom right there. You do not want to touch the flat part here or it stops vibrating. And then you hit it on your hand like that. I use this part of my hand right there because it's most comfortable for me. It's a strong bone there. You want it to make a sound like that when you do it. That means you hit it hard enough to get it really vibrating. Once you've done that, we're going to start with it behind both ears like this. And you're going to switch. And make sure you can hear it in both sides. Also make sure the volume is symmetrical. If you have one side where you're like, I can barely hear that, that is definitely a problem that you need to correct. The way you correct it is putting it on there every day until it starts to wake up. There are nerves that control this, and sometimes they're a little bit dead. So you want to make sure that they are awake for you because it's going to drastically improve your music learning, your intonation very especially, and your singing in general. So there are 3 places on the face that I want you to check: forehead, cheekbone, jawline. There are 3 branches of a nerve called trigeminal nerve that controls vibration in our face, and you want to make sure all 3 branches are working. So we're going to do forehead first, left and right. Checking my volume there. Now we'll do cheekbone. And jaw. So if you find any of those that you can't hear or it's really, really weak or faint, that can explain why you have problems in certain parts of your range. The basic equation is this: forehead is for legit musical theater sounds as a female or higher voice as a male. Cheek line right here is for belting for both sexes, should feel vibration right across this line. Jawline is for chest voice and sort of speaking range stuff. So if you have a decreased sensation in one of those areas, you may not be able to place your voice correctly for those sounds. So let's say you can't feel your cheekbone on your left. Maybe you try putting that on there and singing into that area of the body, waking up the nerves, because if they start to get a little bit more awake, then you will start to have a better time belting because you know where you're supposed to be belting into. We'll check one more place that's more related to opera singing. It's just the crown of the head on the left and the right. So right up here, on the left, and on the right side. For opera, that's an important place to feel vibration in the dome of the skull. So if you are an opera singer and you don't feel that, that would be really good to work on. If you want to see more about a tuning fork, you can sign up for my 30-day Vocalese challenge on the bottom of this page. I go through some chest resonance stuff there with the tuning fork that'll give you more info.